This is a heavily Democratic district. That's why the intimidation was allowed. Now, you imagine, Megyn, if me as a columnist wrote a column saying that it's okay that a couple black people were intimidated because it was a heavily Republican district. Can you imagine the outrage?
Yeah, well, that's the thing. I mean, we have a DOJ whistleblower who is alleging that there is a discriminatory policy in effect right now at the DOJ voting rights section, and no one seems to give a darn. Kirsten, including Congressman Sherman.
Well, I'm sorry, you can actually put me in the same category of people who don't really give a darn, because I looked at the video. The guy wasn't really intimidating people. They were walking past him and voting. So I don't really understand how he's being intimidated. Second of all,
with respect, let me stop you on your first point. With respect, you don't seem to know what you're talking about.
Well, I think I do, Megyn.
Well, I don't think you do, because unlike you, apparently, Kirsten, I have read the testimony that was given before the U.S. Commission on Civil Rights.
The Department of Justice got an injunction against him. What more do you want him to do?
Have you read the testimony?
I talked to the Department of Justice at length about this. They got an injunction against the guy
that was given to the U.S. Commission on Civil Rights.
It doesn't matter. They got an injunction against him. No, but they got an injunction against him.
You clearly don't know what you're talking about.
They got an injunction.
Whether Congressman Sherman should have been up to date on this or not, but you cannot debate about what happened at that polling station, Kirsten, because
why won't you answer my question?
What's your question?
I do care. They got an injunction against him. What more do you want them to do?
I'll tell you, because you clearly don't know the facts of this case. They got an injunction.
I actually do know.
Let me finish. They got an injunction against Samir Shabazz, barring him from appearing at any polling station forevermore. Any place. They then downgraded their own injunction after they won it and said, you know what, we changed our minds. He's only barred from going to Philly and only through 2012. Moreover, they got an injunction against 2 other members of the Black Panther Party and the party itself. They then got rid of that injunction altogether.
Megyn,
so don't tell me that they did all they could. And don't tell me there was no voter.
I'm curious if you were this outraged when the Bush administration was downgrading all of their investigations.
Sorry,
were you? The Bush administration, the GAO did a report
back to the Bush.
of the Bush administration.
Back to the Bush administration.
Were you upset and outraged about the discrimination there?
Yes.
About how they weren't pursuing cases?
Yes,
I don't
Kirsten,
remember that.
As a matter of fact, I had the voting rights section under the Bush administration.
Congressmen because they were dismissing cases against where black people were being intimidated.
This is not effective. You don't answer one charge by pointing to the other administration.
I did answer.
We'll get to that in a minute. We will get to that.
I'm not answering the charge with it, Megyn.
I'll give you the chance, and then give me the chance.
You're talking over me.
Because
you're talking over me. No, I'm actually challenging you on what you're saying, and you won't let me talk.
Go ahead.
The minute I challenge you, you tell me I don't know what I'm talking about.
Because you don't.
You just want people to come on and just agree with you that what you've been doing and the way you've been completely like doing the scary black man thing. You know, the man standing outside. It's so horrible. You know, this guy was one person. There was an injunction against him. The injunction was enforced. The Civil Rights Division decided that there wasn't a case to pursue against anyone else. That's completely on the up and up.
Have you been
There's nothing wrong with that.
Are you like Congressman Sherman? Do you know anything about this case?
Oh, Megyn, that's your response.
Did you listen to the DOJ whistleblower interview?
I don't agree with you. Because I don't agree with you.
Answer my question.
I don't know anything.
Did you listen to the interview with J. Christian Adams?
Yes, I've listened to it. The other thing is, the idea of this.
Listen, I'll run the interview. I'll ask the questions, and then I want to get your response. Do you dismiss his allegation that case was dismissed not because of legal reasons, but because of a policy at the Department of Justice that they will not pursue cases in the voting rights section where the defendant is black and the victim is white? Yeah,
I do. I think he's a conservative activist posing as a whistleblower. That's what I think.
Okay, so because you think he has an agenda, you dismiss it.
I cannot believe that this one case, after all of the cases that were dismissed during the Bush administration, is getting the amount of attention that it's getting. I find it absolutely shocking.
Let me tell you why.
I cannot believe it.
Let me tell you why. Because the voting place is sacrosanct. And unlike you, let me finish. And unlike you, I have read the testimony before the the Commission on Civil Rights. And Bartle Bull, a lifelong Democrat who worked for Robert F. Kennedy, who was given a civil rights award by Ted Kennedy, who happened to be at the polling station that day, testified that this was the worst case of voter intimidation he has
But
ever.
Megyn, I didn't say it wasn't voter intimidation. You're putting words in my mouth.
Let me finish.
You're putting words in my mouth. I didn't say it wasn't voter intimidation.
Don't make me cut your mic.
Okay.
Testified that this was the worst case of voter intimidation he had ever seen in his life. And moreover, he and another some witness who was there named Chris Hill testified that they not only saw an African-American poll watcher terrified.
I'm not disagreeing with you.
About what was done to him, told that if he came outside, he was going to get hurt, but also testified that at least 3, perhaps more voters left the poll because of the man with the baton out in front and his cohort who were physically blocking people from entering the polling station.
I'm not disagreeing with that.
You're not. You're saying it's no big deal.
No, I'm saying that it is not. It should not result in the hysteria that I have seen of what you just showed, of the way everyone's being spun up over one case where there was an injunction. I mean, you're saying that they didn't do anything, and that's not true. What that man did was wrong.
I did not say they didn't do anything.
I agree with you on that. I agree that what he did was wrong. I don't understand how the Obama administration is being portrayed as somebody who hasn't done anything when they have, and they didn't pursue a case that
you're setting up a straw man. You're setting up a straw man.
But that doesn't mean that there's some racist plot.
Excuse me. You keep saying that they're being portrayed as not having done anything when they did. That hasn't been anyone's allegation. Certainly not a question I've raised. What I am saying is that they downgraded. They snatched defeat from the jaws of victory because they had an injunction barring these people from pursuing this conduct at any point forward. These 3 members of the new Black Panther Party and the party itself, and then they got rid of it. Okay, but the more important thing, Kirsten, is the testimony from this DOJ whistleblower. And I can tell you that he says if the DOJ would let the other lawyers in the Civil Rights Department come out and testify, which it won't, they would back him up. That there is now a policy, and he's got names. Julie Fernandez, a political appointee within the DOJ, who came out and issued a mandate that the law would not be enforced equally, which every attorney agrees, if that is the policy in place, it is illegal. Does that not concern you at all?
And if you asked him about when he was in the Bush administration and how politicized that office was and how they only hired conservatives and how there's an entire GAO report and he was part of that whole thing?
So 2 wrongs make a right.
I'm just curious. Do you ask him about that? You have him on and you interview him. Do you ask him about his role in that?
You know what? 2 wrongs make a right. That's your argument. And by the way, if you watch the interview, I
have said it's wrong. You keep twisting my words around. I've said it's wrong. I'm asking you, why don't you ask him about the extensive GAO report where they dismissed cases?
I asked him.
And there's missing information about why they dismissed the cases, where they didn't pursue them. And you don't ask him about that, but you're enraged over one case where there was an injunction gotten against the guy.
You know what? It would be more helpful to the viewers if the next time you come back on, you have your facts. My apologies to Andrea and Kirsten. Thanks for coming on.
Because someone disagrees with you, they don't have the facts.
No, you can disagree all you want, as long as you have your facts right, which you don't.